Hello everybody, so today what I'm doing is changing the oil on the John Deere X750. Just the engine oil today, but I do need to do the gearbox oil too. So as you can see, I have just bought the service kit, which does not include gearbox oil, but it does include all the engine oil. So yeah, as you can see here, we've got the plus 50 SE15W40, so that's good engine oil. So yeah, 3 of those. And then we've got a filter, air filter. There's also a fuel filter. There is also the oil filter for the engine, which does need to be changed at the same time as the engine oil. And then we have another cartridge, air filter cartridge, just here. So yeah, pretty much everything required except for the gearbox oil, which is not part of the standard service kit. So yeah, what I'm going to do then is get the engine warmed up, and then we can drain it and get the new oil and filter put in. There we go. I did have to charge the battery because it was actually an X display, and it was allowed to go flat, which hasn't really done the battery much good. So yeah, it's been charged up. The dial was flashing just here, basically saying the battery is flat. So now it's been charged, it's now back into the safe zone. So it should really just start first time. So let's leave it warming up for a bit, get the engine all the oil circulated. And interestingly, the manual doesn't say to service the engine at 50 hours, but under the bonnet, or the hood, it does say at 50 hours you're supposed to change the oil and filter. So I'm not too sure why the manual left it out. I'm guessing that was just an error. And just to show you, it says here, after 50 hours of use, check the rear wheel bolt torque, which I've already done, change the transaxle oil and filter, which I still need to do, check and tighten clamps for cooling and air intake system, and check and tighten hardware. But nowhere there does it say about the engine, but I show you under the bonnet that it does say to change it at 50 hours. Yeah. So, if we just take a look under here, it actually does have information for the diesel and the petrol, the different models, but even so, it does still say, if we look here, one time 50 hours, go down, we've got various different things, change the transaxle oil and filter, but also change the oil, just here, oil and filter in the engine, diesel models, 50 hours. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so here is the drain plug just down here. I should probably say as well, if you're going to change the oil on any machine, don't get the engine so hot that if the oil gets onto your hand it burns you. It just needs to be warm so that everything's been mixed up, and any unwanted sludge is going to come out with the oil instead of just sitting at the bottom of the pan or the sump. So yeah, that's just my word of advice. So what I have here is the drain pan, which I'm hoping is going to fit underneath. I might have to lower the deck. There we go. So drain pan, drain plug, time to remove it. So I'll just leave that going for a while, make sure everything's drained out. Probably takes about 20 minutes or so. Sometimes removing the dipstick can help, so if I just pull it out and see if it makes a difference. There we go. Yeah, always worth taking the dipstick out. Whilst I'm waiting for that to drain, I'm going to now measure out the first measuring jug, which is going to be 1.5 litres, and then I need to do another 1.5 litres, and finally it'll be another 200 millilitres to finish it off. Of course, there might still be some residual oil in there, so it might not need the 200, but we'll see. I need to also drain the filter, but yeah, it's just waiting for the drain pan really, because it's still being used for the main drain. So these are 946 millilitres each. Quite an unusual number, not too sure exactly why they're not a litre, but there you go. Just leave that draining and we'll get the next one. Okay, and now for the next one, which is not going to be the whole thing, not yet, but it will be eventually. So, just get it to 1.5 litres exactly. That should do, there we go. See how tight it is. Sometimes you can do it by hand, other times you have to get the wrench. And today's one of those days. Now you can see whichever way I do this, it's going to make a mess because we have this bracket just down here, which is going to spill onto. That's a really well tightened one today. I suppose though, it was the factory. Now for the messy part. There we go. Yeah, not too bad. Just try and get through that. There we go. Yeah, because sometimes it can be very messy, but luckily today, not too bad at all. Yay, free crankcase lubrication. Anti-rust. So here is the oil filter. I think I can get it fitted now. If the wind is an issue in this video, then I'll have to try and sort something out for next time. But there you go. Genuine John Deere, ready to go. Bit of oil on there, go straight on. Okay, right. Sometimes you can turn it backwards to get it on the thread, but usually these aren't too difficult. Right, so there we go, it's all on. Time to now put the drain plug back in, and then I can put the new oil in. Then it'll be job done. So we've actually got two different fill points. I'm going to go for the top one. Okay, so it's raining and it's finished. Yeah, so it's actually showing up as just over on the dipstick. Obviously when I start it, some of it's going to go into the filter. Check for any leaks. Obviously there won't be any because it's all been tightened up, but you've always got to check just in case. So yeah, I'm just going to double check the dipstick.